zeros in a cubicle downtown. I wanna look out my window, see 'em flying, and swing across the horizon as I cheer 'em on so proud. Deep-powered girl keeps staring at her face, and call Colossus and have him teach me ways, and then we'd exercise. I'd be one of the guys. Martial arts from iron fist and wall, I'll dab her up and teach her all my songs. Oh, I wanna live in a world full of heroes, not cooking up these heroes at my parents' restaurant now. I wanna yell out Avengers assemble, not order up for Ethel. Yeah, we're out of Kiki now. Date Emma Frost and have her read my mind, or Magdalena, her artifacts I find, and then we catch a symphony. It'll just be her and me. Call Lucky Barn and arm wrestle for hours. There's NMA and bring her lots of flowers. Oh, trendy bars would be a guy's night out. We'd make that wolf pack now. I'd run with Flash and do a marathon. Vacation to the savage land for fun. Oh, I wanna live in a world full of. I wanna live in a world full of heroes. Have NPR and CNN describe the latest team. I wanna tuck my kids inside and read them stories of superhuman glory while the sleepy faces beam. Go! Live in a world full of heroes, not sit here counting zeros in a cubicle downtown. I wanna look out my window, see 'em flying, and swing across the horizon as I cheer 'em on so proud. Deep-powered girl keeps staring at her face, and call Colossus and have him teach me ways, and then we'd exercise. I'd be one of the guys. Martial arts from iron fist and wall, I'll dab her up and teach her all my songs. Oh, I wanna live in a world full of heroes, not cooking up these heroes at my parents' restaurant now. I wanna yell out Avengers assemble, not order up for Ethel. Yeah, we're out of Kiki now. Date Emma Frost and have her read my mind, or Magdalena, her artifacts I find, and then we catch a symphony. It'll just be her and me. Call Lucky Barn and arm wrestle for hours. There's NMA and bring her lots of flowers. Oh,
When the whole city was coming down, these guys were taking pictures, like they'd been waiting for it.
You think that your father was working for them?
This stuff was in a safe.
Who are they? What's Monarch?
There's a new world coming.
This is the world we live in. Monsters are an inescapable reality.
And it's just
Those files belong to us, and they are more important than you could possibly imagine.
There's a new world coming.
This is gonna give me nightmares.
This one's coming to an end.
Now, you can choke down that Monarch lie
This one's coming to an end.
about your father disappearing. Or we can find out what really happened before it's too late.
Oh my God, go, go, go!
This world, it's not ours. Believe me.
It is so much more vast than we could possibly imagine.
These monsters and Monarch have taken everything from me. No more.
The world is on fire. If you want to save millions of lives, we can use some help.
There's a new world coming.
Well, welcome, and what can we say but
I won't do that. People don't need to
really?
hear that from me. No, I want. Can I not just be the person? Like, can I just be the stoic scientist sitting in the corner, just going, Gojira? That's it.
You have to like
I have that
aggressively
understanding.
take off your glasses at some point and then put them back on
Yeah.
and take them off. Yeah.
Yeah, be the
Yeah.
stoic scientist.
It's super confused, but at the same time super impressed, and then like looking at things going, oh.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Or just
So-
explaining everything with radiation. It's radiation.
I'm not sure. Please explain to me again what radiation is and why we should care.
Do you know there's enough World War II documentaries for you to find that out in yourself?
Okay. Fair.
Or just go and watch the HBO show Chernobyl. That'll give you a pretty good background.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway.
Anyway, yes, welcome to the periodic table of awesome. What are we talking about this week?
Kaiju.
Not Godzilla -1,
No.
but the adjacent thing that's happening at the moment.
Yeah, is it? Does this
Godzilla
technically make this
adjacent.
Godzilla +3? I don't know.
Can I just say, like, which camp do we fall on in this whole kind of thing? Are we going the original Japanese version stuff or the Western remake stuff? Because much like, you know, live action interpretations of anime, it's very hit and miss when it comes to
Ooh.
Western goes at this. So
Yes, this is true.
are you falling on the original Toho side, or are you falling on no, I like the Western stuff because Broderick is your bae?
Look, we covered this at the end of the show last week. I
Sure.
will die on the hill that is Godzilla 1998.
Bring it back.
It's a bold move. It's a bold and powerful statement.
Fucking love that movie, and the soundtrack slaps. I just found it on YouTube Music, and sadly, some of the songs are not available. So I'm gonna have to next time I go to my parents' place, see if I can find the CD because I love it so much.
Oh, the
Oh,
CD.
yeah. At least the Jamiroquai one was still on there. But I mean, I do like the Japanese monster stuff. I've probably seen more Gamera movies than I have Japanese Godzilla movies.
Wow.
So
you prefer your kaiju more shelled and tortoise-like?
I just like the camera. He's so cute. And he's
don't
funny little teeth, and he's like rockets that come out of his shell, and he can fly around. He does that spin, and in Doctor Children,
right?
spiral shells. And
what was that deal?
Isn't he like 30 or 40 feet tall?
camera.
Yeah, is he?
I thought he was
I'd say he's probably about the size of like a teenage Godzilla. He's
Yeah,
not-
that's
he's not
what I was getting. This is like a big Squirtle.
Blastoise. Yeah, he's a Blastoise.
Blastoise.
Because
He's a Blastoise.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm
Okay.
sure
I'm so
that's
sorry. I didn't know the Pokemon.
I'm probably sure that is where Blastoise came from.
No doubt. I have no question at all. Yes.
I would like to see Gamera in this series.
I hope so. Did we see Gamera in King of Monsters?
No.
Right. Okay. I couldn't remember. Because to explain a little bit about what we are talking about, we are talking about Monarch, Legacy of Monsters, which is interesting in that it is a continuation of the Kong/Godzilla Monarch Monsterverse, Kaiju-verse?
The 2014 Godzilla film that kicked off that Monsterverse.
So that was the one with
the one with Bryan Cranston.
That's the one. I couldn't think of who the lead guy was. Well, actually, was he the lead guy? No, it was actually the Scarlet Witch.
Elizabeth Olsen was in it. Yeah. Yes, and they were playing husband and wife, and they played brother and sister in another movie. But
weird.
Anyway.
So
that one.
That was that one, and then they followed it up with Skull Island, which was
set in the 70s.
Yeah, so it was sort of that kind of what would you call it? I suppose it was a little Vietnam era kind of war thing. It had that kind of Apocalypse Now, Heart of Darkness flying into Skull Island and finding a gigantic fucking King Kong.
Yeah.
And seeing, was it Tom Hiddleston fighting things with a katana? Yeah, that was the time. Well, then we got Godzilla King of Monsters.
Yes.
Which was the one where it was basically Godzilla versus a whole bunch of...
Another slightly disappointing one. I mean, I wasn't a fan of the 2014 one because you didn't see him until the last 30 minutes of the film.
Yep.
And then the King of Monsters one, he only did like the hyper beam once.
Oh, you look so disappointed, Jill.
I'm sorry. No, I'm like when I'm with Jill on that one. If you pay for hyper beam, you want it more than just once. Really, I'm sorry. Don't bury the lead.
I'm really dying to talk about Godzilla -1 next week, but I'll hold it until then.
This is just going to be like this is an Americanized focus. Like that's all I want to know because we can go into the long history there, but we're going to focus specifically on the American Godzilla, Roland Emmerich, the co-stars, which are the tiny baby Godzillas, which was setting up for a sequel that we all wanted, never got, and then
did we all want it though?
Yes, everyone did because no one thinks back to that Godzilla and goes, oh, I didn't like that film. Everyone kind of has weird memories of it. Like it was great, and then when you go back and watch it, it's not good.
See, I have pretty strong memories at the time of thinking this is not good.
No, but they did that really cool shot where like there was a helicopter flying over and Godzilla jumped up and grabbed it and then went down again. And it was basically like Jurassic Park. Wow, maybe they just made that's right. They just took the T-Rex model and elongated it a little bit and then made it in New York.
Yes.
Did anybody watch Godzilla v Kong?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed it.
Did I see it? Because I have no recollection of the movie.
It was a whole ton of fun. Like there was I mean, I don't think we rated it overly highly, but we certainly did watch it.
Can anyone tell me if I watched it?
I don't know. I can go back and have a look at the thing while we're doing it.
I might find a trailer for it because I don't remember that movie at all.
It was good. It was monkey versus lizard.
Yeah.
See, I think I would remember if I saw that.
I mean, it was 2021, so it was kind of, just somewhere in that 3 years that we all lost.
Yeah. Okay. There's probably a chance I haven't seen it.
I don't think you did, Jill, because you weren't on that podcast.
Well, then I probably haven't seen it. Well, that's something I need to look for.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it's got some fun shit going on in it. And it's got a giant fucking lizard punching a giant monkey, and they
Yeah,
go
sick.
to places, and it's great.
I just went back and had a quick look at the show notes, like the website posting stuff. And
Did we
thank you,
like it?
Quinny. Yes, it got quite good reviews. But I just want to thank you, Quinny, for putting into the bottom of that show notes a picture of the gorilla giving a talk. It just says, "Look, I'm all for a good show, but all for a good showdown. But you must understand, this is a nuclear dinosaur."
Yeah, everybody's like,
Came
who's going to
away
win,
from
the
it.
monkey or the dinosaur? And it's like, it's a nuclear dinosaur.
The dinosaur. He's going to win. And then,
Yes.
yeah.
So anyway, that leads us all to this bizarre and interesting little addendum. I don't know what you call it. It's like an addition.
Yeah, Warner's been trying to do this with a few different things. They're trying to get the franchise. They love a good franchise, and they want to, like, they needed something after Harry Potter, and because let's be honest, it went away. It finished, and it kind of stalled. Were they the ones behind the reboot? No, that was the Universal. Sorry,
That was the Universal Monster universe that they tried to get up and running. Where it was, what was it? It started with the Luke Evans Dracula.
Yeah, and then it went to
Tom Cruise's mummy.
And then it stopped. And it was supposed to go to the Russell Crowe Jekyll and Hyde, and it did not go that far at all.
The showrunners bailed on it, but yeah.
You remember they did a Vanity Fair photo shoot with all those people in it? Yeah, right. Like, they doubled down on what they were doing with that. And then a bunch of executives got fired, and we had a bit of a change. And while that was all happening, Warner Brothers just sort of jumped in and went, "Hey, we're doing Godzilla, and we have one. There you go. Here's a Godzilla." And everyone was like, "Interesting." Also, looks kind of like you designed it, like a man in a suit.
Yes,
because he's a chunky boy. Like that 2014 Godzilla was a chunky boy.
He had chubby little legs. He had cankles.
He's a chubby little leg. And then and the Kong that they did wasn't like the Peter Jackson one, which was like, "Can you get to the fucking monkey?" They just went, "Yeah."
Did you say dick?
What? No, not monkey dick. It wasn't like Peter Jackson's "Can you get to the fucking monkey?" It was just monkey.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. So, like, I thought there was some instance of monkey dick that I'd missed, and I was like, I don't remember that part of the film.
If you want to see Giant Wang, just go back and watch The Watchmen.
Yeah.
They cut away from it like in Ragnarok with Hulk in the bar. It was there, but they cut away.
Yeah. Yes.
No, somewhere though, someone actually did have to animate it for at least a few weeks.
Yeah.
And then they just came back and were like, no, we can't do that.
Put more fur on it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like Harry and the Hendersons.
Michael Bay can push through robot testicles to the end of the film. Do you not think that there are show notes going, yeah, we need his dong out, just for realism's sake? What does it look like? Anyway, you're getting
What
paid.
Transformers did you watch?
The second one. There are definitely robot testicles.
Oh god!
You don't remember that? It's like, I am standing directly beneath the robot's balls. It's like,
yeah, that must have been a low point.
Graphics in that second one, I couldn't make out anything.
Actually, the funniest dong that I've ever seen in that sort of stuff is from the Conan video game, because you can customize the perspective of that. And then you make him do things like climb up rock towers and stuff when he's not wearing anything. It's a little bit like, this is low-key the best and worst thing I've ever seen. Because you can't make, Conan doesn't change gender in this. It's just like, we're going to craft a dude. And then he's a nude dude. And then you can just make him with a giant dong and make him run around and jump through things in like a platformer. And you're like, it's hypnotic.
It's
anyway,
straight up nerd wish fulfillment. Anyhow.
The Monarch, and when
the mighty Monarch.
That's why they started making games with romance storylines for you sickos.
Yep.
Shut up, Jill. We all know that everyone down here has read enough flash fiction.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've got this continuation of the Monarch universe, and Monarch is the secretive, shadowy organization that is linking all of these films together. That we saw, I guess, at the end of the first Godzilla, where there was sort of this hint that there were things that knew about these monsters before Godzilla appeared. So now we're actually, because the timeline's also really weird too. I was about to say, now we're a few years later, but we're all over the place timeline-wise.
Yeah, it picks up 2 years after that 2014 Godzilla movie, but also flashes back to was it the 50s?
1953, I think, is one of the time periods.
And did they also go to the 70s?
It starts briefly in the 70s with the last survivor of Kong Skull Island.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So it's sort of jumping all over the place a little bit. And there's a point where it jumps to 5 days after Godzilla has attacked San Francisco?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's kind of all over the place. And funnily enough, it hasn't gone into the 2021 period yet where, Kong has appeared and Godzilla has fought him or anything like that. So it puts it in the middle of a timeline.
That's for season 2, Quinny. You can't just, go straight out there. And it hasn't finished yet, so we don't know where this is actually going. So it's more just like a review. It could get better or worse.
Yes, this is true.
Yeah. There's only been 4 episodes, haven't there?
3, as far as I'm aware.
3. I only watched 3.
I don't even know. I don't know when things come out these days. It used to be in the old days, and you could set your watch by like every Sunday something would come out, or every Friday something would come out. And now you're just like, I don't know, what day is it? Is it the 3rd? Is it American time? Is it when is it dropping all at once, or is it a weekly season? I don't know anymore.
Yeah, or is it where you get like maybe 2 episodes in a week, but maybe not?
Yeah. I mean, I went and watched Doctor Who the other day, and I saw David Tennant, and I went, "What year is it?"
2005, apparently.
Yeah,
I was like, "Well, I didn't even understand that." Anyway,
very confusing. It's written by Russell T Davies, but from a story from the 1980s, so very confusing.
That's much like Monarch. You get a little bit confused because you don't know what time zone you're in. You don't know where you are. Is that young Kurt Russell? Is that old Kurt Russell?
Is it Wyeth Russell?
Yeah. Wyeth Russell? Why
it's
not?
Funny. It's really funny because they give you clues if you look at the screen while you watch it.
Yeah.
And they tell you what year it is.
You ain't got time to read, Jill.
Look, I'll be honest. I always am looking at a second screen whilst watching something, but this one, I am checking out the monsters because there's some cool monsters in this one.
There are some great monster designs.
Yeah.
And I love that they didn't shy away from some of these monsters. Like they took some of those monsters that we saw on the sideline in, some of the island and stuff, like the weird crab thing and spider crab thing.
Yeah.
They pulled them straight out. And I really like that they didn't hide Godzilla.
Yeah.
I want more.
It's very refreshing, though, to be like, oh, that looks like a Godzilla. Oh, I don't know, they're just showing off the tail back. Oh, no, there's Godzilla. He's 100%.
He's there. He's roaring
Do
at
you
the
know
camera.
what that scene reminded me of? That bit in The Simpsons where it was, April 4! And then...
Yeah, very much so. I was like, that. And the thing is, not only are they not shying away from Godzilla, but they're actually doing it really well. Like they're doing it on, feature film budget style. And I was looking at it going, that doesn't look shit at all. That looks as good as what we saw in the movies.
It is Apple money. Okay. They've just upped their prices again, so you got to figure out where that money's going.
True, very true. So essentially, you've got three plot lines, I guess. There's the plot line of 1950s. What's the? It's not Shaw.
Yes.
It is Shaw. Yeah.
Yes, Lee Shaw.
Yeah. So yeah, Lee Shaw in the 1950s, and then name of the character is not in front of me because I didn't open the IMDb.
The Doctor, Keiko Mura.
Thank you. And can he fix it? The guy
The
from
Builder.
no, the guy who does the voice from Wreck-It Ralph.
No.
Hang on. Okay.
Seth Rogen?
No, not Wreck-It Ralph. The guy who can fix it.
No, that is not the guy.
What?
No.
That is not the guy, Quinny.
Yeah, I was like,
that
what?
guy is from. This is the guy from that Office show with those three horrible dudes.
Anders Holm.
Yeah. Is it
Oh,
Co-Workers?
shit.
What is
I
that
thought it
show
was-
called?
I totally thought it was
It's
Jack
totally
Brown.
not. No.
Oh my
No.
god. Well, that's awkward and just
Workaholic.
ignore the last 5 minutes.
Workaholics. That's it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Moving on. So you got that storyline that's happening in the 50s, and they're exploring. They're looking for monsters, and
Yes.
then the 2014. Sorry, Dave.
Who? Oh yeah, no, it was only kind of getting it because it took a while for me to understand that Randa is John Goodman from the later one. Yes, because it's the character name. It's not in the show, but when you look at the character names, you're like, oh. Like, okay, all right, I get you. I see what you're doing here.
Oh, thank you. I haven't
Eventually
put
he
that
goes-
together yet.
John Goodman. Oh well, anyway, so sorry.
What?
It's not a spoiler. It's literally in the credits.
Thank you.
It's like, so do you remember John Goodman from the 1970s one?
Yes.
Yes, that is the same as Anders Holm. Bill Rand, like he's playing Bill Randa, that character in this one.
Oh.
He grows up to be John Goodman, like we all want to.
Yes.
Yeah.
Man.
Yes, so it makes it more sense now. You're like, okay, I see what's going on here.
Right.
It helps connect it a little bit better. Where you're like, oh, and that makes me immediately give a shit about that character now.
Yeah, because I was like, what is this throwaway scene at the very first episode?
Yeah. Other than something
Yeah.
to tie it into the Kong Skull Island film.
Yeah, but
To
now
make
I'm
people go,
excited.
oh, it's attached to that.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay. So the other storyline that we've got going through is also tied to Randa, but it's the daughter and son of a different Randa.
They're the granddaughter and grandson of Bill Randa and Keiko Mura.
Yes. And you've got a very different sort of storyline there, which I actually felt quite interesting because it's sort of after the supposed death of their father, you start finding out that things are not what they have seemed, and there's a lot more confusing things going on there. And there's a whole bunch of family drama that I actually was pleasantly surprised at how invested I was in that.
Mm.
Yeah, I enjoyed that sort of storyline. So yeah, I must admit, I've only got to watch 2 episodes so far. I haven't watched the third.
Oh, okay. Well, the third has another great monster in it, but I won't spoil it.
Oh, okay. So now I want to know about the monsters. Because
Which one
realistically, that's what we're all here for.
Yes. My thing that I kind of liked about not just the monsters before we get to the monsters, because we still talk about that, was that I really liked that there was a lot of Japanese in the show.
Yes.
It made things kind of connect nicely to the whole Toho era kind of thing, where I was like, oh, this is actually kind of a bilingual show. Like half of it's in Japanese, half of it's in English. And a lot of interesting and important plot points are delivered in Japanese with subtitles, which is if you're not following along, like if you're screening it and you're looking down, you're a little bit like, wait, what? I'm going to go back.
Yep.
What did you say? I didn't understand what was going on there. That was kind of really important.
Yeah, and
Yes.
that is nice. I mean, especially considering that, as everybody knows, that the Japanese films, the Toho Godzilla films, started in the 50s and have continued. God only knows how many there are. I actually need to look up how many Godzilla films there are. I know that we've, like, obviously the most... sorry?
There are 33 Japanese-based ones.
Right.
From 2 different studios. Eras. They have eras. They don't really have studios, but they have eras. So
Yeah.
The Showa era, the Heisei era, a Millennium era, the Reiwa era.
Right.
That makes sense? Yes? No? Yeah. We'll do that next week. We're going into the Japanese stuff yet next week.
Yeah, we are. But it's nice that there is sort of a recognition that this is a franchise that is inherently tied to Japanese culture, and it'd feel kind of weird. Like, and it's one of the things that maybe I think perhaps people felt a little uncertain about the 2014 Godzilla is that it wasn't an attack on a Japanese country. It was, you know, him showing up in San Francisco, and you're like, what the fuck? Oh shit. But this one, I loved seeing what's happening in Japan and what the attitude towards Godzilla and monsters and stuff like that is in this post kaiju world.
Yeah. I thought it was fascinating that, you know, where they would have something like a tsunami siren, they've also got a kaiju siren.
Yes. and
slightly terrifying.
Yeah, and these are the places that you go when there is a kaiju coming. These are your fallout shelters, and yes.
I did like it too. I was like, oh, you're just going to go back to doing what you're doing. It's like, yeah, what do you want us to do? Live in fear perpetually? It's like, yeah, fuck up. All right. Like, kaiju are a thing now. We just have to work around that. Like, yeah, fair.
Yeah.
And after like Pacific Rim, which is just, you know, what is it? Godzilla films that you got from Wish.
Hey.
Hey.
The Pacific Rim films were, in fact, the Evangelion films that you got from Wish.
Yes.
Fair. That's a much better. It's a much better sort of have a look at it.
Now, I like to watch these things because I like to see giant monsters / dinosaurs just fuck shit up. But
yes.
I have to say, have I missed along the line somewhere an explanation for where all of these monsters are coming from? Because unlike Pacific Rim, where it was like they're coming out of a hole in the ocean, where are these monsters coming from?
Okay. Hollow Earth? Did we not get to Hollow Earth? Or was that the one that we missed?
That is the one that Jill missed.
Oh, okay. So the explanation is in Godzilla v. Kong?
It's certainly intimated.
Yeah. Well, no, it's not intimated. They literally go to the Hollow Earth theory, which is like if you go down deep enough, there's holes through the earth, and there's basically a whole ecosystem underneath.
So it's like a journey to the center of the earth thing.
100%.
Sure.
Okay, good.
Yep.
Except like things all get wibbly wobbly, timey wimey, kind of Avatar-ish underneath the earth because it's getting closer to the metal core, and then there's more radiation, and there's a whole thing. Yeah. But you know,
also, like all of these films, all of the Godzilla films have kind of been talking about mutos or
yes.
Massive
unidentified terrestrial organisms? Was that
something like that? Yeah. Yeah. And the idea, I think, is that they're basically just lying dormant until something wakes them up or until some shit goes wrong. And where they all came from originally, Kong versus Godzilla kind of covers that.
Okay.
But
okay.
Well, look, it doesn't matter because you just want to watch giant things beat the piss out of each other. That's all we're after. And it's interesting because here in this one, they're trying to give the human face to these two giant things.
Boring.
So they have to minimize the monsters, which I kind of like.
Just no.
Boring. No.
Do not
boring.
want more explode.
We got
please give me more
explode.
explode.
We got explode in episode 2, but more explode. Other explode.
Yeah.
More explode. Sorry.
I'm enjoying some of the human stuff, but certainly there is an amount of human stuff that happens, and then I'm like, need explode now.
Yes.
Can we cut away to monster now, please?
Yeah.
Whether they be monster bugs or whether they be monster flying things or whatever, I think they've set themselves a very difficult task, which is do kaiju battles on a week, monster of the week kind of status. That's hard to keep up.
Mm.
Yeah,
and
not impossible.
To do it well. No, not impossible, but to do it well is difficult. And
yes,
we get to see.
But I mean, it's just it's kind of like maybe we can I'm gunning, and this is what I kind of really want to gun for. I'm gunning for a baby Godzilla. Let's go down the other way. Let's turn this back to a human level. Let's get them smaller and smaller, and basically just start hanging out with the babies, and then we can
have them like fucking laying eggs somewhere, and then the eggs hatch, and then they just start causing chaos.
Yeah,
I mean,
look,
that's just
if the fucking Power Rangers can fight a giant monster every fucking week, they can do it in this show.
Absolutely. Good point. Yeah. And they did it with such style in Milan.
They're sponsored by Krispy Kreme. That's it.
Oh, you're talking about that shit film, aren't you? You're talking about the really awful fucking.
Oh yeah, Krispy Kremes. Everyone loves Krispy Kremes, don't they? Not the Krispy Kremes.
Are they Krispy Kremes?
Money that you pay to be in.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, we all forgot about that. I'm also going back because I'd forgotten certain elements of the King of Monsters. Like that King Ghidorah was the thing that awakened a whole bunch of titans around the world, and that was part of the reason.
Because he's the king.
Yeah, and so that's why more of these things are around.
It's good to be the king.
Why are we calling some things titans but some things mutos?
I don't know. Why is something in Celsius and other things are in Fahrenheit? It's America.
But they did it in this show. In one episode, they called them a Titan and a Muto.
I'm saying it's Celsius or Fahrenheit. It's just about which country is sort of doing stuff. Like Japan's probably out there going, they're all Mutos. And America's like, no, they're Titans. Because I said
But Muto is an acronym. It's not a word.
Yeah, exactly. It's a backronym. What's more? I think that it's probably my theory on it is that Titans refer to the ones that are specifically the huge ones. So, like essentially, your Ghidorah, your Gamera.
Hang on. Wasn't sure if you saw it from back here.
Oh yeah, no, I can see the powerful eye roll. And the Mutos are just every other little monster that's all fucked up. I don't know.
Yeah.
Nobody cares.
Just poking holes.
Does the monsters fuck shit up? Yes, they does.
Marginally. I want to see a bit more.
I think this one is something that's going to struggle a little bit because we've all just had the experience of watching a traditional Japanese Godzilla film. And it's a very different beast, if you'll excuse the expression. That you go to a weekly TV series that has, building character arcs and stuff like that, and is referencing its whole big universe of stuff. And then you see a straight up Godzilla film. And yeah, the comparisons are not necessarily flattering in some ways. Especially,
yeah, they're kind of doing different things, aren't they?
They are. But if you're here for Godzilla fucking shit up,
I have an answer for you about why they were changed from Mutos to Titans.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was officially done in Godzilla King of Monsters, and there was no explanation.
Cool.
Good.
Excellent. And I love that they just use both
because the screen-
references in this series.
Yep.
Because the screenwriters just went, no, they're Titans now. Cool.
I'm going to need you to get all the way off my back about the Titan thing. Let me get off of that thing.
Okay.
Oh dear.
Right.
Because
So
kids
do we
couldn't
like
pronounce
it?
Luke O'Donnell. Oh, are we finished? Or are we gonna
No,
are we
we're
rating
not
and then
finished, but I like we've talked around it a lot, but I want to know what you think of it.
I'm enjoying it.
Yeah. Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
I mean, I do
Can I-
like to see this kind of stuff like expanded upon and get a little bit more information than what they can just kind of dump in a movie, like the exploration of the history of them, basically, and what to was it G-Day they called it
Yeah.
when Godzilla attacked
Yep.
San Francisco. I'm like, okay, so that's G-Day, but every time he fucking destroyed Tokyo, it's just another day at the office.
Well, and this is what I'm trying to work out. Like, what's the history of Godzilla in this universe? Because clearly Tokyo and Japan and everything has a history with Godzilla.
Yeah,
Like-
and that's what I would like to see explored a bit more. We got a hint of it in episode 2 where they were doing like nuclear bomb testing and stuff in the Pacific and that kind of thing, and we saw Godzilla, but yeah, I need to know more.
And yeah, if there is a like if G-Day is the first attack of Godzilla, is it only on the West or
Yeah.
that kind of thing?
I
And
need the history of the shit that got fucked.
that is what we're here for.
Yes, that is what we're exploring in this series.
Yeah. Is there anything that doesn't work for you?
The
At
pacing?
I think at the moment I guess the nebulous monarch that we haven't really delved into quite a bit. They're kind of just like on the exterior at the moment, and we've seen a couple of agents and there's something happening, but we don't really know a lot about the group. And I feel like that is maybe happening at a slower pace than the rest of the story, where the family is investigating what happened to the father after G-Day.
I mean, it makes a little bit more sense now that that they've got that sweet military industrialist complex funding at the end of the 3rd episode, where they're kind of like, okay, so the Pentagon's going to give you money now. It's like, cool. Now we can understand how they go from like boring to batshit crazy over that whole kind of thing. But yeah, they have become one of those kind of quasi, it's a research group all the way through to Monarch controls everything. It's like Spectre.
Yeah.
It's a bit weird.
So I kind of want to like, perhaps there's somebody at the head of it now that we have met that is pulling strings. Like, we don't know who the person is that's kind of running the show. So perhaps that's going to get revealed, but at the moment it's a bit slow.
Right. Yeah.
I think you're right too. It's suffering before it's, or not suffering. I mean, it's just a bit scary to think about. Okay, so how are you going to resolve Monster of the Week, or how are you going to keep it tense enough to keep coming back each time to go, well, what's going to happen now? But what's going to happen now? Like, what's all the sciencey bit in there? Like, at least in Pacific Rim, they had a pretty good explanation, which is why are these things important to humanity? Yeah, because people were stealing technology and drugs and all sorts of things from the alien stuff. So it sort of gives you a bit more thing here. It's kind of like, oh, there's just these giant things that come up, fuck shit up, and then leave, and everyone's just kind of like, it's just capitalism in monster form. Yeah, colonialist monsters who just come in and fuck everything up, but then don't do the rest of it. Like, they just leave. Oh, great. Thanks.
They fuck around and they don't stay for the find out.
Yeah.
Always. Okay,
Yeah,
I reckon we should
boy monsters.
Sorry, I think we should drop some ratings. And it's a tough one because also I'm not entirely sure how much we can talk in terms of spoilers because I mean we're 3 episodes in, and it's
There's still 7 left.
Oh my
Mm.
goodness. Okay. It's a 10 episode one. I'm
It's a
really
10
finding it difficult to even properly rate it because I've only really seen the first 3 episodes. I don't know where it's going to go from here.
With 7 more, yeah, that's a lot. And I think my biggest fear for stuff like this is when it has to sit in a particular space, like in a timeline. And I remember I said this at one point about the Dragon, the How to Train Your Dragon TV series. I was like, it sits in that awkward thing where nothing big can happen in it because there's another film over here that's the bookend.
Yeah.
And so none of the characters can die. Nothing can really change that much. So it just has to be adventure of the week for however long and then reset. So but then again, I mean, I guess the good thing about this is every time they do a new film, it doesn't feel like there's any particular kind of huge continuity between them.
Yeah, but I mean, but it's something that's also interesting. They've released this series now, but it's going to go straight into the next movie, which has already finished filming and has spent now a year in post-production. So it's just kind of like they already finished that film, so they know where they're kind of getting to releasing with the release of the TV show. So it is interesting. I hope that it works in well finally.
And then does it potentially run the risk of what we've now seen with Marvel and stuff like that, where people feel like if they haven't seen the series, they don't get everything that is layered into the film. A lot of people complained about the Marvels that, if you haven't seen Ms. Marvel or if you haven't seen WandaVision, then there's 2 characters who you don't know why they're there.
All I want to know is who's going to come back and play old Tom Hiddleston.
Well, clearly Tom Hiddleston.
And if Brie Larson was in that one too, how does she come back later? Yeah, right. How does Miss Marvel? Let's tie in. Samuel L. Jackson end up playing the Nick Fury, and why was Nick Fury on that island hating a gorilla?
I mean, I think they could probably get Richard E. Grant in to be old Tom Hiddleston.
That could work. That's done nothing.
I mean, it's a little Marvel on the nose, but whatever. I don't care.
Yeah,
So, what were you going to say, Dee?
I'm just saying I can enjoy it, and I am hesitant to go like jump in so far and be like, oh, this is going to be like this, because there's still 7 episodes left. But as long as we start to get to know the characters and they look like they're having fun, sure. And if it rests too much on the laurels of it's a very serious thing and we need to worry about what all the consequences of this are and blah, 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 it's going to get a little dull. I mean, if I want to watch a tense drama about humanity trying to persevere through adversity, I just watch For All Mankind.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't need to see that in my monster movie. I'm with the Jill side, which is like, when's it going to fuck something up? And how are we going to do it creatively?
Yeah.
And I think that's my big worry, is that for a series that is about kaiju and is about, mass destruction and stuff like that, I'm afraid that it'll be a whole lot of edging and no actual...
I know exactly what you mean.
Exactly. It'll be a whole bunch of like, there's the...
It'll be a 2014 Godzilla movie where you're like, is this it? Is this it? I was like, oh, no.
Do the beam, do the sky beam, do the sky beam.
It's our tantric TV series.
Tantric, at least you enjoy it throughout the thing, but
yeah.
Anyway,
I am worried that it could do that for 10 episodes, and that could be not much fun.
I'm gonna go first. Then I'm gonna check a rating. I'm gonna give it a tentative 70. So from what I've seen so far, I find our main character May somewhat captivating. I want to know why her relationship with her mother is so stressful. I want to learn what happened to her father. I want to see more of her trying to resolve this situation with like a secret family she had no idea about. But the thing that's really selling this series, I'm afraid, is the Russells.
Yeah,
Russells are killing it.
Rustling all over the place.
Yeah, I do quite like the 50 storyline as well. That's really cool. And from the monsters that I've seen so far, they are exciting, but I need to see some stuff destroyed.
Yes.
Preferably cities.
Yeah. I want a big old tail whip through a big fucking city. I want
to see some people that need a comeuppance get destroyed by a monster.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And I would also be very happy to see like some new and interesting designs, or some fun big Titans, Motus, whatever.
Maybe watch that episode 3, Kuni.
Yeah, I will.
Probably something in there for you.
Oh. Right, Dion, do you have a numerical value?
Yeah, look, I mean, because I can just make stuff up about how I think it's going to go. I'm really looking forward to them tying in the Roland Emmerich Godzilla into this franchise to make it all make sense in a unified kind of way. Plus, maybe adding some other good Motus, like Mothra. They're just it's going to be there forever. All that fun stuff, the weird ones, and Baby Godzilla. What, Jill? You look excited. What?
I just thought of something. An end credit scene after episode 10 where they're building a Mecha Godzilla.
I mean,
silence.
Jill,
no, it's not
Godzilla versus Kong.
Like, you may need to see a particular bit of a film.
Oh, fucking hell.
Godzilla versus
Oh, no,
Kong.
they've already done it? Oh, shit.
But it would make sense if perhaps they were building up to that.
Yeah, but
I need to see this movie. All right, well, maybe they'll fucking tie that in. Who knows?
Yeah, I imagine.
It's predicted a movie I haven't even watched. Wow.
Exactly.
What I do want to see is them having a bit of a go at introducing some giant mechs in there. I'd love to see like some big mech fighting somewhere in here. A little Pacific Rim.
Really?
Or, something like that.
Agree. Yeah, maybe if they did. Gypsy Danger just comes out of left field with a steel chair.
Steel chair that's roughly the size of a fucking...
You know what? I do want to see a Titan or a Muto or whatever that's a little bit more agile that could maybe like stick Godzilla in a suplex or something.
I mean, come on! If this is something just amazing, a nice image in your brain is just a giant robot with a big steel chair that smacks Godzilla around the face, but then flips the chair out and sits down on it and goes, "Done." There's my brain. I don't know why that's working.
Yeah.
I want to see a 75. Yeah, maybe a 75. Oh yeah, it's fun. It's not terrible. Like I watched it going, I don't know what this is going to be like, but it's interesting enough. But yeah, I feel like it's getting a bit disjointed until I start to give a shit about the past and future colliding. It's more just kind of like, oh, that was in that other movie. I like that.
That's the guy from the other one. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, he's going to be John Goodman. That's
Yeah.
And all of this still ties in the weirdest way that there's also an animated series that if you feel so inclined you can go and watch it that ties into all this shit as well. So on Netflix there's the animated series Skull Island, which is part of this universe as well. So
yeah, just be careful that you don't go to something else if you're looking for Skull Island.
What's that?
Anyway. No, we're not going there.
Is that a dirty film?
I'm not. Look, it's not up for me to worry about whether or not your Google search is set to safe or
right. That's
not.
for the children at home to Google.
Okay, right.
I'm not responsible for any of this.
I'm going to go 78. I think it's fun. It's sort of barreling along at a reasonable pace. The characters are quite likable. And I want a whole bunch of monsters. And I do like the whole world building stuff of seeing, the fact that she gets into a cab with a dude who's like, yeah, I've got a podcast about this.
Yeah.
It was all done with CGI. Of course it was.
Yes. And what is that with no one's mobile phones working? Again, you can't have chases though. You can't disappear. That's I think that's the thing that we're all like understanding now, is that they need to ignore mobile phones these days, because we all know that law enforcement can just look up, like, where are they? Well, they're right here. Yeah, the phone's pinging from there. They actually have to literally throw that out and make it a plot point, and then you can't contact anyone, and it's not going to work that way.
Yes. To answer Oz 1989's thing, I don't know if podcasts had like that. Were that in 2014, 2015? Yes, they were.
Yeah, they were. They were massive. If you wanted to make money, you just made a podcast.
Yeah.
That's the way to get richer.
Wow. Snark. Okay, well, we've got a clip. This is from episode 3, and I am excited because this is, heading towards what I feel like we kind of need. And we can come back and discuss a little bit of spoiler stuff, but I don't know how much spoiler there is to talk about.
Yeah.
Okay.
Really? Watch the clip first and see if that spoils anything for you. There's still 7 episodes to go.
Okay, here we go.
Go for Castle Bravo.
Attention, transmitting detonation signal to Castle Bravo in 30 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5,
It's over.
Oh, see, this is what I'm talking about. It's just a whole bunch of edging.
Is it though? Because you've got to watch the thing. Maybe there is a big boom. It does get a big bang. You never know.
Well, if you've seen that episode of The Simpsons, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It was the can of beer, right? He took it to the paint shop and they shook it so much. It was like quivering when he put it back in the fridge.
I do love a good. My God.
Yeah, it's the thing, isn't it? Every time you see it, it's like, my God. It's like, really?
The interesting thing about that particular sequence, and Adsky messaged me on Twitter during the week because he saw that particular sequence, and he's like, hang on, is this from the American dub of Godzilla -1? And I was like, no. That's Christopher Heyerdahl, who is an actor who only appears in TV. I'm pretty sure it's in his contract that he only ever does TV. Usually,
we're going to get into Godzilla -1 next time.
Yes, we
because
are.
that's the Japanese one. As I say, the superior.
But what I will say is that it's interesting that there is a shot in that sequence that was almost exactly the same framing as one of the ones from Godzilla -1.
Oh.
Like the slow sweep up the tail, up the spines. I was like, oh shit, that's actually almost like the exact same shot, just a chunkier Godzilla.
You leave chunky Godzilla alone.
I love.
Yeah, my baby's got cankles.
Yeah. You know, my favorite thing about all Godzilla films and TV shows and everything that goes on is just the absolute way that no matter where or what show or movie or anything that they come in, the filmmakers just ignore the depth of the ocean. Like, I love that.
Yeah.
It just doesn't matter where it comes from. It's the ocean is either so deep that there's nothing below it for kilometers, or deep enough for literally Godzilla's ankles to be just coming out of the water while he's standing upright. And I love that. And it was no better represented most recently than the Godzilla versus Kong, which, I think at one point it was like, oh my God, he's like, it's almost on, he's a kilometer below us. And then Kong's just standing next to the ship. And I'm like,
how tall is the? And I always remember that from Pacific Rim 2, where these gigantic monsters come up out of Sydney Harbour, and anyone who knows Sydney Harbour is like, there is no room for the giant monster there.
No, they literally would have to be like this under the water, like don't breach the surface.
Yeah, like
But
kind
also,
of sidling underneath and then go and stand up.
it's not just ignoring the science of the depth of the ocean, but also water displacement theory. Like,
Why would
how
you
is the
even bring up
mass of
science?
these enormous things not just causing like tidal waves whenever they get out of the water?
I mean, this is one of those things I do like about some of those other ones is like watching Godzilla move through the water. He moves like a crocodile, and it does actually cause waves and stuff. I get that. That makes sense. But we're not going to talk about any of those weird physics, and also hollow Earth theory, and how come crabs and other things can exist in the water because they have a buoyancy ratio and the pressures on different things allow it to move around, but once they get into the atmospheric pressure, if they got any bigger, they'd be crushed by gravity, and that's never explained.
Yeah.
Science,
right? It's one of those things.
It's because of the radiation.
Totally.
This is just another thing to put in our new show where we talk about movie science. What was that thing we were doing? Oh yeah, where it was just a podcast about like busting phony movie science or something.
But also it was like and murders and stuff like that. Like how would that kill you and things like that.
Yeah. We'll just have to put it all together into a new show.
Yeah. Because there are definitely times where you're like, oh, okay, so hang on. So he's standing up now and he's 300 feet tall, but can he swim? Or can he, how did he get up there? And does he swim up to jump out? Or I don't understand.
Do that with Home Alone and
my
worked out
God.
that Kevin McAllister was a serial killer.
Yes, absolutely.
Basically, because they're like, all of these things would have killed people. Every single trap that he made up would have actually caused massive damage, like at certain separate areas. Yes. Oh yeah, the spin-off, but why?
It should be a supplemental episode for every episode that we do. And it would just be Peter hosting it. And just poking the shit out of it.
And how?
And how? There's two sections to it. The first is, but why? And the second,
and how?
Yeah.
I
think the and how is where we fix it.
Yes, where we go, okay, let's work out. Does Kong need floaties?
Yeah, we tend to like to fix things, don't we?
We do.
It's like, here's how you could have done it better.
Oh.
He was standing on a small submerged atoll. It was definitely a sandbar.
Yeah.
Right here, he had the reef.
I like that. The displacement of Kong Dong in water.
Oh, God.
Concerning. Deeply concerning.
I didn't see that episode of Beyond 2000.
Beyond? I was all about towards 2000.
Towards 2000.
Oh, dear. Well, we've got some excellent science to talk about in next week's episode too. There's a lot of science in that movie.
Super excited for that science.
Yeah. Started by that because now I'm thinking back to that Mission Impossible where, what's his face? Superman.
Henry
Cavill. Oh, reloaded his arms.
Reloaded his arms, and it's kind of a nice moment in Godzilla -1 where I was like, it's kind of cool. Godzilla loading up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, that's a fun one I look forward to.
And that is, funnily enough, what we do have to look forward to next week, which is a whole bunch of more kaiju. I feel like we're leaning hard on the kaiju at the moment, and I'm down for that.
We're coming into Christmas, we can do what we want.
Yeah, it's quite fortuitous.
Yeah.
And
by next week, Jill, what do you think the chances are? Oh, sorry. Go, Dave. What were you saying?
I was going to say next week is December, and we haven't even got that schedule up ready yet.
No. But Jill, what are your odds of by next week you having watched Godzilla versus Kong?
If I can find it on a streaming platform, I will watch it.
Okay, I'm sure it's out there somewhere.
I can help you out with that one, Jill.
Oh, good. Okay.
Got a link for you.
That's my weekend sorted. Excellent.
Excellent indeed. And if you do feel so inclined and you really, really want to go for like some hardcore stuff, you'll find Godzilla on Netflix. There's a bunch of different Godzilla animes.
Okay. So I did watch the Godzilla cartoon that was based off the 1998 movie as well. I used to watch that.
Okay.
Because it was like a bunch of kids or something, and I'm sure there were baby Godzillas in that one. They found a nest of Godzillas in New York, and
Well, that's where that film ended off, really, wasn't it? Like,
it was in similar vein to like Jurassic World and the Velociraptor gang. They had it was baby Godzillas.
Yeah, there was going to be a whole trilogy,
and
then it didn't go.
Happen.
But
if you feel like you haven't gotten enough Godzilla in your life and you could do with more, I do thoroughly recommend seeking out Godzilla Final Wars from 2004. So if you love the Godzilla from 1998, there is a sequence in Godzilla Final Wars in which Man in Suit Godzilla faces off against the 1998 version of Godzilla. But where does he do it? Sydney Harbour.
I want to watch that.
Yeah,
it's not a great film, but it's fucking entertaining.
I don't care.
Yeah. If you're curious about it, there's 33 Godzilla films to go out there, and that's just the Godzilla ones that have Godzilla in the title, not even all the spin-off ones. Like, you could do Gamera and all the other ones.
Yeah. There are so many kaiju out there. You'll have so much fun.
Yeah. You'll get some kaiju on your plate.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. I don't know whether you've joined us on Twitch or whether you've joined us on YouTube, but we're trying something new and putting it straight out of YouTube. Terrifying.
Hey, for the YouTubes. And maybe we'll get back to regular show layout stuff later if I can fix it. Can I fix it? Don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know. It depends which actor you've got.
Yeah, do you have the real Fix-It Felix or the knockoff one?
Yeah, the one who Quiddy thought was Fix-It Felix but wasn't actually.
Yeah.
Was it actually Felix? Yeah. That's how I'm feeling at the moment.
Yeah, the Fix-It Felix you get from which.
All right. Well, happy end of November, and wish you all a good start to December. And remember, now December is officially the time you're allowed to have your Christmas tree up. So yeah, that's it. From December, you can have it up all the way till January 1st.
Is this what Dion decrees?
Controversial
it
message.
should literally be illegal outside of the month of December.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. Don't worry, we're just going to we'll be able to have it all done and dusted by January 2nd when the Easter buns and stuff, hot cross buns and stuff come to the shops. It was Boxing Day last year. I went there and I was like, what the fuck is an Easter bun? Like, fucking.
Yeah, hot cross buns and Easter eggs. This is January 1st.
Like, literally, Jesus has just been born and now you're killing him? Fucking whatever.
I know. It's like too soon, guys. Too soon.
Yeah, awkward.
So just prepping for Thanksgiving next year.
Did we all buy things in the Black Friday sales? Do we care?
Oh, yeah.
No.
No.
I did see. I nearly bought a PlayStation 5 and then went. Still very expensive. Okay, thanks everybody. We'll talk to you soon. Enjoy.
See you next week for more Godzilla.
I wanna live in a world full of heroes, not sit here counting zeros in a cubicle downtown. I wanna look out my window, see 'em flying, and swing across the horizon as I cheer 'em on so proud. Deep-powered girl keeps staring at her face, and call Colossus and have him teach me ways, and then we'd exercise. I'd be one of the guys. The martial arts from Iron Fist and Wall, I'll dap her up and teach her all my songs. Oh, I wanna live in a world full of heroes, not cooking up these heroes at my parents' restaurant now. I wanna yell out Avengers Assemble, not order up for Ethel. Yeah, we're right up cheeky now. Date Emma Frost and have her read my mind, or Magdalena, her artifacts I find, and then we catch a symphony. It'll just be her and me. Call Bucky Barnes and arm wrestle for hours.